All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick video. I got to retract something I always say. I ran into something I have never run into before. And now you got to remember, I own over, I don't know, 400 ratchets. And most of them are older style ratchets. I own probably a dozen of these fine tooth, 120 or 110 tooth or 90 tooth ratchets. I ran into something today on this one. I took this thing apart and cleaned it and lubed it. I found out something. I was changing the bumpers on my trailer and I just needed one ratchet with a number 12 millimeter socket on it. What I ran into was this thing kept sticking and it wouldn't ratchet. What I figured out, let me pull this out, was that I greased it. Well, my dumbass wasn't thinking properly, and now I realize there's just enough pressure on that spring when it goes in the ratchet side. The grease was sticking to the pawl and to the gear. So it wouldn't ratchet. It would just stay in a tighten or loosen mode. It wouldn't ratchet either way. I had to play with it to get it to ratchet. Now, after I cleaned it, I cleaned almost all the grease. There's a little bit of grease down in the bottom here, but there wasn't like this. I cleaned the pawl really well, and I cleaned the gear off really well. And believe it or not, that was the problem. Now it ratchets just fine, and it switches. The switching problem wasn't a problem, it was the ratcheting part. What was happening was the gear, the pawl was sticking to the gear. The Mobil 1 grease was adhering to it and was keeping this from moving. And I have never run into that before. So this ratchet is oil only and thin weight oil from what I can tell, which I'm not complaining. I cleaned the grease out. If you can, got a lot of grease there. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but there was grease in there. And so now I have to retract what I say about oiling or greasing all my ratchets. I'm thinking the fine tooth ratchets, especially the Power Torque brand, and this is a Paul, was it? Wait, hang on, let me see. Paul Tom 112161. I think that's the number on this one. Really good ratchet. I'm not complaining. This, I believe, is the house brand for O'Reilly's. Well made. This is like a billet aluminum. Really well made ratchet. I'm not complaining at all. It's just me. I put grease on this thinking that it was grease like all other ratchets. Well, it's not. The grease makes that pawl suck up and stick to the gear. And I can take it apart. See how it's stuck to it? It is a really nice fit, and there's still a little bit of grease. I can feel it now. I didn't get it all cleaned off, but that's sticking. I mean, yeah, that paw is stuck to the gear. So I have to take a little more time and clean this paw even more. But originally it was full of grease, and that was a problem. So, those of you that heard me say grease all your ratchets, that I do it, well, I found one that I can't do it to. So I just want you guys to know that I really ran across something I've never run across before. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And this is, I don't know, it looks like it's real fine. If you want to see the teeth on this thing, is really fine. It's either 90 or above. I'm sure it's above 90. I have to may have to go online and look it up. I really don't care. It works. It's just, I just thought I need to correct myself. That way somebody, if they run into it and they think, well, they got a bad ratchet, the first thing I thought was I broke it. And I thought, there's no way. I've only cranked on it, you know, I've just barely got the bolt into the trailer door before something happened. Yeah, see, now it's not sticking. Yeah. See, now it's not wanting to stick. So I got all the grease off of it. Okay. Well, I thought I'd show you. This is not a very good video, but it's something someone out there might get out of it. So this is one of these oil me videos. Yeah, I was mad because I thought, man, I just thought this was a great ratchet, and here it wasn't working. So yeah, I guess on the fine tooth ratchets you need to check and see what's recommended, or check and see for yourself if your paw and gear are sticking. Let me straighten this up. I'm focusing on what I'm doing and not talking, sorry. Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thought somebody might get something out of this. Yeah, before it would stick and it wouldn't turn. It wouldn't ratchet like that. So, for those of you out there that have this and you think something's wrong with it, it's not. More than likely it's the grease that's causing that paw to stick on the anvil gear. This is the anvil part. That's what your socket fits on. And then the back of this is 90, 120 tooth, whatever. But that was the problem. Like I said, I thought somebody might get something out of this because I always recommend putting grease on ratchets. Well, this is one you cannot use grease. It has to be oil. And I don't think dry would be proper either, because dry, it's most metal contact doesn't like dry. It needs to have some type of lubricant. So I would say something like this 3-in-1 would be just fine. And I know everybody has different, the 3-in-1's got different ones. This is what I got, this is what I use. Right now I don't see a problem. I know they make different types of 3-in-1, so get something that lubricates, but do not use grease. Do not use grease. I found that out on this one right here. I was using, I've got another one that doesn't have the thumb release and didn't have a problem with it, but that might be because there's not as much grease in it. Maybe that's a difference. Don't know, but I've got one of these with a thumb release and one without. But this one definitely did not like the grease in it. And I have I've got another ratchet over there. I'm going to test it now that I found this, because I think I greased it, so I need to see if the paw is sticking in it. And it's a different brand, but I can't remember what brand it is. All right, guys, I'm sorry. This is kind of a unique video. Normally I restore and show how to clean up and restore video, but this one is kind of a public service video. especially since I recommend greasing my ratchets. This one is one you definitely don't want to grease. You want to put a lightweight oil on the inside of it, because if not, the grease makes that pawl stick and it won't ratchet. It'll stick. It just won't work. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me what you think. If anybody gets anything out of this, let me know. I don't know what else to say except I've told you wrong, especially on this ratchet. I will check my other ratchets that are fine tooth like this and see what else is going on with them. All right, guys, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe if you like. Let me know. Y'all have a good day.